I'm just going live here in a few different places. All right, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. This is Ron Deering coming to you live from my home office in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It is a kind of overcast day today, and it's supposed to be up to 60, but it's cloudy. They are calling for some maybe intermittent showers. So spring, typical spring weather. Good to see everyone this morning. Maybe you saw my post last night. We had a visitor, a huge, and I believe it was a great horned owl, one of the ones here in Idaho. He's one of the biggest ones. It could have been a female, I don't know, but it was a good, probably 2 feet tall, and sitting on our roof, waiting for, I think, hoping to get some of our chickens, but I lock the chickens up in their coop at night for that reason. Exactly. During the day, we don't worry about the owls, but we do have like peregrine falcons or hawks and things like that, small hawks that are around. But most of them don't bother the chickens because the chickens are bigger than them. But that owl would have easily taken a chicken for dinner. So, all right. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about some things. How would you like to have a very easy, simple set method for posting, what to post in content and so forth? And yesterday, we were honored and blessed to be invited to Michelle and Jay Puco's Q&A training with the amazing Fraser Brooks. And he brought this up, and I kind of heard this before, but it really made sense. It really hit home yesterday, and I wanted to share this with everybody because it, probably the one question I get about social media and posting and all of that is, what is it? How do I know what to post? How many times I should post? When I should post? And things like that. All these questions that you hear all the time. So I'm going to give you kind of a very simple plan that hopefully will help you out. And I want you to make sure that, first off, you share this out to everybody on your team. Make sure that they are seeing this or invited to it. Let me know if you're watching the live or the replay. All of the housekeeping things, right? And I forget these things all the time because they seem so incidental to me. But if you get value from this, share it out and with your team and people that are trying to build a business online. Okay, especially using Facebook and Instagram. All right. So get your paper and your pencil out. Simple things, 4 things. I think you can easily remember these, but here they are. Okay. First one is, and these are 4 types of posts that you should do in the week. So if you do one, you want to do 1 to 2 posts a day. And I would encourage you probably, and I know I do more than that sometimes and so forth because I get, excited about something that's happening. I put it out there. But what happens is you kind of self-defeat yourself because you might have a great post and you post something else, and that starts going and rolling in front of everybody's news feed. And whatever you posted before has, gone by the wayside. So 1 or 2 posts a day. I would start with, 1 post a day. And here's the cycle that you go through. You go through these 4, 1 each day, and then start over again, right? So that would give you 8 posts for 7 days. So some you're going to hit twice, which is great, okay? First one is motivation or inspiration. So you find a quote. And one thing he said interesting yesterday, and I find myself doing this too because I like creating cool graphics and, selfie graphics with quotes on them and things like that. But Facebook doesn't give as much engagement with those because if you put a picture of a quote up there, they don't know what it is. Their algorithm isn't smart enough to know what the text says. So they don't know if it's maybe something that's offensive or something that's good. So they're not going to give it as much engagement. Where if you type in the quote and use one of the backgrounds, right, that you can put on them. So I think you've got to keep it to 80 characters if you can. Then you can put one of the backgrounds there. So it still looks kind of cool. It's still got some, background. It's just not plain text out there. The text is bigger, obviously. When you use that, it enlarges the text. But then Facebook can, what they call, crawl that text and find out what it is and see that it's not offensive. It's not going to hurt anybody. And then they'll give it more engagement. So that would be the first thing that I would encourage you to start maybe doing. And I'm going to start trying to do that myself when I do my quotes and stuff. So that's the first thing, motivation or inspirational quotes. So let's say we're starting on Monday, and you can just put this in your calendar to remind yourself, right? On Monday, So Monday you do motivation, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday you do motivation. So every 4 days you're going to do a motivation or inspirational quote. Okay. The next thing is education, and education. And I love what he said here. Education is doing a live that is educational and training and value out to your audience. Now, maybe you're a carpenter, so you're going to do something, do a DIY, that you're going to teach somebody how to, fix their couch, or, fix the molding or whatever. You're going to do, how to build a cabinet or whatever it might be. Give them some tips on what hammers to use for what occasions. You're going to do one education a week, right? And because we're doing this every 4 days, you'll do 2 of these a week to start off with. Now, for me, I do a live 4 to 5 times a week, typically, at least, and as you get further on, I would encourage you that maybe the second thing post you do each day is that live, or maybe you do your live and then the second thing is one of these other 3. Okay. So first one is motivation and inspiration. Number 2 is education, which really is alive. You're educating people, you're training them, you're giving them value, and you're teaching them. The third thing is a conversation, where you might be asking them a question. You might be engaging them, hey, what are you all doing during this time of quarantine? How many of you are, catching up on books you wanted to read, or catching up on, projects around the house, or whatever it is? You're creating that engagement and creating that conversation. You're getting them involved with your post. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4 is something personal. Now, you saw that this morning, where we had the owl, and then I did another, kind of quick one, because it came up on my, how it comes up and it says, a year ago or 8 months ago or whatever, 2 years ago. It had a picture that we had put out there just when we got Gabriel as a puppy. And so I put a before and after, like they do with people losing weight and stuff. Here's his before and after. He is certainly much bigger than he was when we got him a year ago, right? So those are the 4 things: motivation, inspiration, education, conversation, and personal, right? And you do one of those a day to start off with, okay? Just you find a good inspirational quote. You can go out to Google and say inspirational quote for today or motivational quote for today, and then you type it in and use the color background of that. So you're going to want to find some that are shorter, because like I said, you can't, I think if you go over like 80 characters, it's not going to be big anymore. It's not going to let you put the background on it, okay? So then the question came is, well, how many posts do I do a day? Well, he talked about doing 1, 2, or to 2, right? 1 or 2. And I've heard anywhere from 1 to 3, but no more than that. And I would agree with that. I think if there are people out there that just every hour they post something new. Every hour they post something new. Well, what happens is, again, it's self-defeating, because they just roll up on everybody's feed and they roll past. And as you're going through your feed, you might see theirs, but then the next one comes up, and you're self-defeating. And Facebook isn't really a big fan of that, right? So I would say 1 to 3, preferably 1 to 2. Okay. So you could do like a motivation, inspirational one, and then a live. Maybe you're doing, you get to the point where you're doing a live 4 days a week, and that's your second one, right? And you can mix and match which one you do first and so forth. Or you might do a personal one, maybe 2 or 3 times during the week, and that's your second one, but mix and match it, keeping it in these same categories. Now, you're going to want to do things educational wise, conversational wise, and personal wise that are congruent with your about section. And he talked a little bit about that about section, and when the question was asked, and I love what he said was, you need to make sure that you've got 2 or 3 things on there that define who you are and what you like, right? Like you're a dog lover, you're a Christian, you're a husband and a father and a grandfather or whatever. And then he encouraged everyone to put a mission in there. My mission is to impact lives worldwide, or impact the next 1,000 lives, or 100 people, whatever it might be, and then a call to action. Connect with me on Messenger, something like that. I thought it's something I hadn't really heard before, especially about the mission and about the connecting. That is awesome. And I think that is something, again, that I know Jenna talks about a lot, is being congruent with your about and the posts that you. So when you put down, I'm a dog lover, and you're posting things about cats, it's not congruent anymore, and people are going, why are they doing this? Or I'm a network marketer, and you're talking about your 9-to-5 job if you're still in your job all the time and things like that. So you just got to make sure that whatever you put and tweak in your about section, which is one of the first things people look at. By the way, he said that was probably the most important thing on your Facebook profile. And Fraser Brooks is a social media guru, expert, right? A multimillionaire using social media. So the about section needs to be done properly and correctly, but it needs to be congruent. You need to make sure then the posts that you put out are in line with what you've said in your so like, and I'm not getting political, but if you put in there, hey, I'm a Republican, and you're putting things about Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and a bunch of Democrats in your posts all the time, people are going to think, okay, they're just not genuine. They're something's not right here, right? So you want to make sure that's done. And the other thing he was talking about was probably the best time. It's hard to decide when the best time during the day. And I've asked this question many, many times. When's the best time during the day to post, to do lives and things like that? And he said something that I hadn't really heard before was, if you do it, say, like at 9 o'clock Eastern time, you're kind of in the middle of the time zone, calendar, if you will, or system. Because you still got people on the West Coast that are up and running. You got people on the East Coast, on the further east, that may have already been to bed and are getting up. You're kind of maybe in that optimized time, and that the people like in Europe and further west they're gonna wake up to your post. The people on the East Coast, that's their time of day. When they're looking at Facebook before they go to bed at night, and then 6 o'clock on the West Coast is when people have gotten off work, they're home, and maybe they're sitting down and looking at Facebook at that point in time. It's a good thought process, and I would try that and see if you get a lot more engagement and so forth. I find sometimes, for me, 8 o'clock in the morning here, and it may be right now that I'm getting a lot more engagement just because of COVID-19 things, and everybody's quarantined, everybody's home. So there is no good time. There is no bad time. Everybody's, looking at Facebook all throughout the day. But it's important that of all the things he said, the thing that hit home the most, and that I talk about all the time, every leader I've ever, been involved with talks about, every training I've ever heard talks about, it's the one thing that is the thread through everything, is you need to be consistent. Don't do it for a week or two and go, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm tired of that. And I'm not getting any results, or I'm not getting any engagement. You've got to do this forever. And I say that, in tongue in cheek, but you've got to do it until you start getting that engagement, until you start getting that response and that interaction and everything that you really, really want and really need, and, it's for your lives, you've got, and I would encourage you to go out to HigdonGroup.com, because this is amazing. And let me swap this real quick so you can see it. But this is a little book, and I think it was like $5. It's a little tiny thing, but it's got all kinds of cool headlines in it, and titles and so forth. I apologize, I'm shaking this morning. And you can go out to HigdonGroup.com, and I think you can pick this up. I think I got it for like $5 or something like that. It was really, really cheap. Okay, and it'll just give you an idea. A lot of these things are, and again, I can't see it. My glasses haven't come in, but I'm trying to read one of these. The interesting truth about, 13 things there's all kinds of them. Okay, I need to have my magnifying glass out now to read it until my new glasses come in. So for your lives, it's nice to have one of these things where you can check it out and find out what a good headline is. There's another website that he gave, and I think I bookmarked that website. Let me see if I can find it right here real quick. I don't. I don't see it, but I forget what the name of it was. But if I once I get, I'll find it, and when I do, I'll put it in the I'll put it in the comments for you. But it's a incredible website, because you can go out to it and you can, and it's free, and you can type in a search term or search word, and then it's going to give you a ton of phrases that are searched. So let's say right now you do you type in home businesses, right? A home-based business. You're going to see not only home-based business, but you're going to see all of these, and they put it in a little circle on that. I don't know why that is, but all of these headlines and titles and terms and that are being searched out there. It's a clue, right? So what do you think if you used one of those headlines, one of those search phrases, as the title to your live? How cool would that be? How much engagement and interest would you get, knowing that it's already being searched like crazy, right? So that's a good way. And again, I will find that website, and I will put the link in the comments in this, so that you can probably put it in the description. Okay. And I know I'm a lot lower key this morning than I was yesterday, because I was on a mission, And again, here's an example. Last night, I'm a little stuffy. It's this time of year. I was a little stuffy, so I didn't sleep the greatest last night. And I woke up tired, and I've just taken my heart meds here about 15-20 minutes ago. But I can feel them starting to, right? But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We still need to get out there. I get my post done. It's so easy to say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to modify. I know once I take the medication, it's going to, be about 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to delay taking my medication to this time. I get up at this time. I'm going to take from here to here to do the things I know that my brain and my body would be saying, oh, you're too tired to do it. And jump in and do those things right away. Right. And I apologize. I can't see. I can see a few of your names: Sherry, Tony, Jen, Cheryl, Jim. I can see a few of these. I will be so glad when my glasses come in, because I don't know if you've ever gone through anything like that where your vision has been impaired. Some of you may have impaired vision. Some of you may have to wear glasses, and without them, you can't see at all. And my vision is not horrible, but it's blurry without my glasses, and now it's even blurry with my glasses. And but you can adjust and you can modify your day, your DMO, and your daily. If hey, I know by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon I'm getting tired. Okay, well maybe I need to take a little nap. I think I've earned that. I'm 67 years old. I can take a little nap, right? So that I can get the rest of the day, right? Because Tuesdays are, I've got a accountability group at 6 o'clock on Tuesday evenings. I've got our, corporate training at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to be on top of my game throughout the day. Carlos and I were talking this morning, and he had a late night, didn't get a lot of sleep, and he's tired, right? But I know him. It's not going to change anything. He'll take a little nap during the day when he gets a break and get a power nap and get going. And so you need to make that decision. It's the same thing with this posting. I've given you a plan that you can easily put in your calendar, motivation, inspiration, education, conversation, and personal. And you can do that, and you can put it in your calendar so that it reminds you every single day. But you still got to be consistent. You still got to figure out what you're going to post. You got to post with intention. Don't just go out and, haphazardly slap posts up. You got to post with intention. I love that about Jenna Zweigel. She was saying this the other day when we were talking, is that you make your posting, make your content intentional. So it's better. That's why, so many people are like, I got to get a bunch of posts out there. So they just slap anything and everything they can out there. They don't take the time to make it intentional. If you cut back how many you were doing, 1 to 2 a day, then you've got more time to make sure that those are intentional. Make sure you've taken the time to really, put something together that's going to grab the attention of people. Our attention spans aren't very much. So as I'm going through my feed, what, and here's a great exercise. When you're going through your news feed, your Facebook news feed, what are the ones that you stop on that grab your attention, right? Typically funny, outrageous graphics, right? So if there's some outrageous graphic, excuse me, where the I don't know, some outrageous meme that's out there, you stop, you look at it, and you laugh, it grabs your attention. Or you see something that is heart-wrenching, that really, some video maybe, or some story that someone's telling that really, just grabbed but it's those things, those ones that grab your attention that you want to be putting up there. You want to make sure that someone, it's like, I put a post up not long ago. I forget what it was about now, but it was just a personal post, something fun around the house there, and it got a ton of engagement, a ton of people interacting and putting comments. The post I did today about the owl, people are saying, yeah, we've got owls where we live. We got to bring our dog. They got little dogs, right? There's no owl out there that's going to pick up my 150-pound Newfoundland puppy. I'm not worried about that. They don't. It's like them attacking a bear. They're not going to do that intentionally, unless they've got a nest or something like that, which they don't. But most of their nests are in the trees, right? And Newfoundlands have not learned to fly or climb trees at this point in time, right? But of course, that would be a funny meme, right? So things that are going to grab the attention of the people that are scrolling through their feed, and yours comes up. Now, if you've got 20 of them coming up, they're just going to, okay, enough's enough, right? That's why I do basically one major interview a week in my lives, because I want them to think of it as a TV series, right? Well, who's going to be on next week? And guess what? This week, I don't know who's going to be on yet. We've had to postpone the one that was going to be here this week, so I'm looking to get someone else on there. So we'll see. I'm hoping that the young lady I invited will jump on with me this Thursday. But people are reaching out and saying, "Hey, who's gonna be? And they see it, and they so if your posts every day are like, "Wow, I wonder what Ron's going to post today. Can't wait to see that one post or that second post. I wonder what he's going to talk about on his live." That's where you want to get, not like, oh, okay, there's 30 of them, I've got to look at it, no, there's 20 more, they got, 27 lives today and everything. You want to keep them on the edge of their seat, if you will. You want to keep them attached. Not only you want them to grab their attention, but and I loved what he said about this, the content of your posts, the motivation, the education, the conversation, the personal, all that, that's what grabs them. But the consistency is what keeps them coming back. If they know that every day at this time, man, they're gonna see a great post, they're gonna keep coming back. Now, if it's just a nonsense post, then they're gonna, okay, yep, zip right through it. But if you're giving them quality, intentional posts every day at the same time, that's going to draw their attention. And that consistency is what's going to bring them back. That's what's going to encourage. That's what's going to not encourage. That's what's going to increase your engagement, increase your, interaction and what's going on within your profile. Great posts, not a lot, just a few, 1 to 2, and consistency every single day. And try to do them at the same time. So I hope this has helped. Get this out. Let me know if you're watching the replay or you're watching if you watch the live. Have an amazing day. Stay safe. Don't get carried away. Don't go, crazy on this thing. It's a bug, right? I don't know how many of you, and I'm not going to get into the politics of COVID-19 and all that. And I see all these people asking, what are you doing today and all that. And that's great. And those are good conversational, posts and so forth. But the bottom line, at my age and people in my age group, and even in their 40s and 50s, we've seen a lot of these come and go, right? SARS and H1N1 and the flu every year and all of these things. And I saw someone's post today, crazy as it is, I saw someone's post today where a family member or a friend of theirs passed away over the last week of a heart attack, and the death certificate came back and said that it was because of COVID-19. What's up with that? So it's one of those things where I want you to all be safe. I want you to use common sense. I want you to do the right thing in that, but let's not get carried away and cause a worse panic than this thing than the media has already caused in their lack of integrity and everything else that they have. And that's my rant for that today. So God bless you all. Be safe. Post good things, post intentional things that are positive and are happy and are exciting and are funny and are, of value and are uplifting. Okay. And have an amazing, amazing day.